welcome to Tina's Joyful Kitchen. That's a little on the spooky side today, I think. And today, what we're going to make in this wonderful, fun cooking class, we're going to make some pumpkin delight cookies, pumpkin truffles with chocolate. We're going to make these spooky little Mandarin cups with chocolate. Oh my gosh, today's a chocolate theme. I hope you all like chocolate. And then we're going to do chocolate covered apples. And I decided to do strawberries too. So those are all the things that we're going to do today. All right, people came in. Let me see. Cindy, Clinton, Maryland, candy corn. Two people with candy corn. Melissa from Tampa. You love watching all the kids. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. I loved when my nieces were little that I can take them around trick-or-treating. Actually, I dressed them every single year. And then one year they decided they didn't want to do it anymore. I cried. Jayla from Arlington office. What do you love most about Halloween? Halloween. Today is a Halloween treat theme because we think that Halloween has to be full of bad foods and bad candies and such, and it doesn't. Here's a lot of treats that you can make for your family, for your friends. I don't know if you want to give them to the kids in the neighborhood, but these are some fun things that we can do. Let me introduce myself. My name is Tina McDermott. I call myself the Lazy Inspirational Chef. I'm a speaker and a weight loss coach. I've been doing this for 20 plus years. This is my love. This is my passion. And I'll tell you, there's no place that I'd rather be than in my kitchen, teaching you how you can find joy in the kitchen, even if you don't know or like to cook. All right. And so that you can live, a life that's full of health and vibrancy and free from dis-ease, free from all the sugars too. Holy cow, way too much sugar is going to happen at Halloween, but I'm going to help you rectify each and every bit of that. Let's see, all the treats and the tricks, Jayla says. Oh, good. I love it. I love it. I love it. Is this your first time in a cooking class with me? Type a 1 if it's your first time, type a 2, 3, 4. I'm pretty sure I've done some cooking classes for ARC in the past. And I used to be a travel agent a long time ago, from the age of like 18 to 27. So I know all about the Airline Reporting Corporation. Okay, Karen says 2, Aaron says 2, a lot of other people are 1. Well, you're all in for a fun, entertaining treat today. Oh, a couple things I got to tell you. First of all, if the internet goes out, don't worry, I'll be right back. Every time I say it, nothing happens. I gotta say it. Secondly, is that when we multitask, we literally experience less joy. And if you haven't already guessed, I'm all about joy in my life, all about joy, because I believe strongly that we're here on this earth to experience as much joy as possible. So I want you to take your phones. I want you to put them on silent, put them upside down, maybe vibrate if you need to hear something from your kids or whatever, but close out of all your browsers and be with me 100%. And I promise you will have a ton of spooky fun today. So if you're in to be with me 100%, type spooky in the chat. Type spooky in the chat if you're in to be with me 100%. Let me see it. If you're in to be with me 100%, type spooky in the chat. I should have said spider. Ooh, we'll do that next time, spider. All right, y'all ready to get started? Yes, you're ready to get started. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's have some fun. I love Halloween. I've been personal training for a very, very long time. So every year I come up with a new Halloween workout. So much fun. And I always dress up as a kitty cat. I almost put whiskers on today. Almost put whiskers and did the eyes. Almost. I'm like, I don't know if they're going to get it. It's all good. It's all good. So we're going to start with the cookies because they need to bake. And here's the thing. Who loves cookies? Put cookies in the chat if you love cookies. If you love cookies. I love cookies. Love them. Love them. Love them. Love them. And now I've learned over the years on how to make them super healthy. Put cookies in the chat if you like cookies. Oh, I got cookies. I love it. And I'm going to make them super healthy for you so that you can eat these and not feel guilty or not here for guilt or anything else. So let me give you like the lowdown. You mix the dry, you mix the wet, you mix them together. Think that way, okay? Think that way. Now I'm going to be using almond flour and coconut flour in my baking. Who here knows or has baked with almond flour and coconut flour? And who here is a newbie to almond flour / coconut flour? So let me know if I had a cookie emoji, I like it. Who here has baked with almond flour, coconut flours, And who here is new to it? Put a 0 if you're okay, newbie. There you go. You're newbie to it. Now, does anybody know why I like to cook or bake? Sorry, I want the dry in the smaller container. Why do I bake and use almond flour versus the regular white flour? Almond flour / coconut flour. Why do you think that I use almond flour, coconut flour in my baking versus yeah, there's less carbs, but it's more than that. It's more than the carbs because I'm not a calorie counter. I'm not. It's yes, it is lower in the glycemic index. Lowers your blood sugar. Thank you, R. Thompson. I think it is. I can't see. And I don't know your first names when you put the last name in there, but it's okay. I'm just teasing with you. Yeah, it's because it's gluten free. And it's also much less processed than white flour. White flour is highly processed and bleached and everything else. And we just don't need that in our lives. And there's a whole long discussion as to what gluten does inside of your gut. And it's not pretty. It's really not pretty. Now, I'm not celiac, right? That's the extreme end of gluten intolerant, but I'm gluten intolerant. So if I have gluten, I don't feel good the next day. Lots of other things. So anyhow, it also affects your brain. So I try to stay away from that. Next, I'm going to put in some, you have a son with autism. Oh, Rebecca, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about because the gluten affects the brain. And when you have an autistic person in your life, you know to stay away from gluten and you'll notice the mood difference. The mood changes the next day after they have gluten because it affects your brain. I'm going to put a teaspoon of some pumpkin pie spice. I always mix my own pumpkin pie spice because I buy spices in bulk, especially this time of the year. I use them a lot. And pumpkin pie spice is simply a mixture of all of the wonderful spices over all the warming spices, like ginger. These are cloves. Cloves are very strong. So if you're mixing, just use a little bit of cloves. That's turmeric. No, don't use turmeric. That's also clove. Here's my cinnamon. And I forgot to take out the nutmeg. So nutmeg goes in there, maybe a little cardamom. It all depends on what you want your pumpkin pie spice to taste like. Again, I mix it. I already have it in a little jar container. And pumpkin pie spice. I love pumpkin pie spice. I even make an apple pie spice. I think the apple pie has a little more cardamom in it. What else we're going to do here? Some baking soda, about a teaspoon of baking soda. I always put my baking soda in a jar because I love glass jars. I have an affinity for glass jars. I have some blue glass jars, some green glass jars, some jars we bring back from Italy, just craziness with all of the jars. We're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of some salt. Yes, I pinched it. I did not measure exactly. Don't mind if there's a little extra sea salt. Now, why am I using sea salt? Does anybody know why I'm using sea salt? Anybody know why I'm using sea salt? Anybody know why I'm using sea salt? This is an important discussion here. All right, I don't want the highly processed sodium chloride. Okay, don't want highly processed sodium chloride. What I want with my sea salt is salt that is less processed and full of minerals. And that's what sea salt is, full of minerals. Okay, now what you see me rooting around this bag here, this is powdered monk fruit. Powdered monk fruit. The brand that I love for my baking is, I always use powdered monk fruit. I don't use granular monk fruit or stevia for baking. Don't like the flavor for stevia in baking, but the powdered monk fruit is a sweetener that has some carbohydrates. It's not that, but it's very low in the glycemic index. It doesn't raise your blood sugar. So it is okay for diabetics. The recipe calls for some coconut sugar. By all means, use coconut sugar if you would like coconut sugar. Remember, recipes are just kind of a guideline. They're not, oh my gosh, you got to have this, right? So it also calls for 3/4 of a cup. I only put a 1/2 cup because monk fruit is very sweet. Even though it says cup for a cup, it's very sweet. So I want to use less of it. Okay, let me put that aside. Now that's all of my dry ingredients. I'm just going to mix them all together here. And my monk fruit got a little lumpy dumpy, so I'm just smashing it against the back of the bowl. Hey, is anyone baking with me today? Is anyone baking with me? If you're baking with me, put baking in the chat. If you're baking with me, I kind of want to know, I should be asking that every single time. Caitlin, take note of that. Is anyone baking with me? Because if you're baking with me, I just want to make sure that I see your product. And if you have any specific questions as we move along, I want to know what those are as you're baking. So yeah, I have, yes, there's no iodine in sea salt, but you can easily get your iodine from taking, eating kombu, eating seaweed, and just eating foods basically. And since I have thyroid issues, I actually take an iodine pill. Yeah, there's no iodine that you can get your iodine from. Kombu is a typical seaweed that you can find in a like a salt shaker type thing that you can add that to your foods and you can get your iodine. If you have low thyroid, it's a good idea to do that. All right, I had a lot of clumps in my sweetener. I think that it wasn't sealed properly and it got a little humidity in there. So next time I will put my monk fruit in a plastic bag so that, or in a glass jar. Why not? I love my glass jars, to get all the lumps out or to not get lumps. And I should have put it through a sifter, but that's okay. I got most of them out, and what a little surprise it'll be if I get a chunk of little sugar in there. There we go. Don't want to spend too much time on that. Next, we're going to mix the wet ingredients. We're going to do 6 tablespoons of some coconut oil. We want it at room temperature. Coconut oil is a little on the hard side anyway. So I want to make sure that it is soft. Yeah, it's soft enough to mix. This is soft enough. If it was really hard, I wouldn't be able to mix it, but that is room temperature and it's fine. So what I had said, 6 tablespoons, right? That's 1. All right. No one wants to cook with me? You're all watching? If you're cooking, put cooking. If you're watching, put watching in there in the chat. If you're watching, perfectly fine. I want you to watch. I want you to have fun. Hopefully, it's like watching cooking shows. I love watching cooking shows. That was 3. Here's 4. A lot of you are watching me. Good. What's your favorite holiday? Here's 5. Don't want to miss this. Is Halloween one of your favorite holidays? I know people that go at Halloween, just go all out like Christmas. They're like crazy for Halloween, which is great. I love it. I think it's so festive and so fun. I love Halloween. It's not my absolute favorite, but maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. All right, so we're going to use coconut oil. You can easily use butter if you want to use butter. I don't care. Okay, so most of you are watching. That's fun. It's fun. We're going to do 6 tablespoons of natural almond butter. You can use peanut butter, but I want you to be wary of something. When you buy peanut butter, I want you to make sure that it doesn't have sugar and it doesn't have bad oils in it. And that's the problem with most peanut butters. I personally like to get it organic because the organic assures me that I am not going to have pesticides and all of that fun stuff. Now, my almond butter has oil at the top, and you get that with a lot of natural butter, nut butters, a lot of natural nut butters, you get the oil on the top. And what I'm showing you here is my trick to mix it all up. My sister gets a butter knife and she sits there for 10 minutes and mixes it, or puts it in a food processor. Well, one day I just thought about, why not just get an electric mixer and do it with the electric mixer? And it works like a charm. Look at that. I'm almost done, where my sister would still be here. Mind you, she's working her muscles, which is fine. Perfectly good to work your muscles, right? And here we go. It is all mixed. And what did that take me? All of 30 seconds, maybe a minute, right? Right? Pretty easy. And you're going to get a healthier nut butter when you go all natural. This one I get from Trader Joe's, and it's a raw almond butter. We need 6 tablespoons of some raw almond butter. So here we go. My sister is also horrified when she watches me bake because I'm never exact with my measurements, and she just gets horrified. And that's okay. That's her prerogative to get horrified by watching me. Maybe she just need not watch me. Yeah, older sister. It's all good. She is the oldest now because, oh, in October is Cancer Awareness Month. Did you all know that? October is cancer, breast cancer specifically, awareness month. That's 3, just so I don't lose count. Here's 4. And we, our family, are celebrating, yes, celebrating the 10th year anniversary of our sister's death. Yep, she passed away from breast cancer. She was diagnosed, that was 5, here's 6. She was diagnosed with breast cancer at a very early age. She was 23. I was only 19 at the time. And she lived for 24 years with breast cancer. And yeah, she finally did pass away at the age of 48. 6 years younger than me. 6 years younger than me. Yeah, crazy that I outlived her. But I dedicate my business, I dedicate all my cooking shows, I dedicate my life to my sister because she's the one who inspired me to teach as many people as possible how they can live life that's healthy, vibrant, and free, right? She was a huge inspiration in my life. If you've been affected by anybody who has cancer or breast cancer, you can put a big C in that chat, put a big C in that chat. 1.5 teaspoons of some vanilla extract. Some vanilla extract. And now I was not meant to be a downer here. I was not meant to be a downer. It literally, we celebrate. Now, if you want to put 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, go for it. I'm going to put about 1.5. And I love vanilla. Get yourself some really good organic vanilla. And the flavor is so much different. So much different. I absolutely advise that you get that. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our mixer here. Go back to, yeah, it's affected a lot of people. It's affected a lot of people. And you know, where it's really tragic when we go through that with our friends, our family, you know, look at the blessings. And I look at the blessing that she's inspired me. My sister inspired me, and that's phenomenal. She inspired me, and I'm not letting her suffering go for naught, okay? Okay, done here. So all I had was vanilla, coconut oil, and almond butter. And the 3 ingredients. You could have had the sugar in here too, but I decided to put the sugar in with the dry since I used a dry sugar. Doesn't matter. It's not going to kill anybody. So you're going to put the egg last because you just don't want to overbeat your egg. So there's my egg. And now I'm going to start to put my dry into the wet. See how easy that is? You put the dry into the wet. Little by little, mix it in. Almost done. Now, this batter is going to be a little different than what you would normally see in a regular cookie batter, okay? A little different than what you would see in a normal cookie batter. I want you to look at it. You see how it's kind of clumpy dumpy, and that's okay. It's perfectly okay. That's the way that it is with almond flour, coconut flour. Coconut flour absorbs a lot of liquid. And every once in a while, when I bake with coconut flour, I end up having to use a little bit extra liquid, and I'm debating whether I want to do that today. What would I do here? Nah, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna leave it alone. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm kind of remiss that I didn't sift my sugar because I still see a couple of little lumps, but you know what? It's all good. Oh, you know what those lumps are? I had crunchy almond butter, and you really should use creamy almond butter if you don't want to see the lumps, but it's all good. You know what? Life is messy. Wash your hands. Now we're going to do some chocolate chips. We can do, I have some dark chocolate chips. I always do dark chocolate because dark chocolate has less sugar in it. Dark chocolate has much less sugar. Look at these scissors. Aren't they great? I love these scissors. I can close them, open them. I call them my chicken scissors, but it's all good. We're going to do about half a cup. Let's do about a cup in here. Let's do about a cup, and then we're going to reserve the rest of it for the top. Okay. Fold them in. This is where the muscles come in. Who says you don't use muscles in the kitchen? You use muscles in the kitchen, right? My oven is already turned on to 350 degrees. That's what we want, 350 degrees. And now we're going to make our cookies. And I've discovered, who has one of these? Sorry for all that noise. A cookie scoop. Who has cookie scoops? I love these cookie scoops. I've got a small one and I've got a large one, and I like to make the large cookies. So we're going to scoop out some cookies. Okay. Okay, I am going to use a stoneware. I love cooking with stoneware, okay? Yes, you clean it, you scrape it, hot water when you clean it. I love them. If you're using a regular cookie tray, please put down some parchment paper so it doesn't stick. They don't tend to stick when you use the stoneware, okay? So I'm just pressing them down. Get your hands dirty, it's okay. It's okay to get your hands dirty. Make sure you move them far apart. Now, making large cookies, you can make them smaller. You don't have to make them really big. But remember, I'm lazy. And the larger that they are, the less of making cookies that I have to do, right? And, you know, I'm trying to get things done quickly. I don't have time to sit there and make a whole bunch of little tiny cookies. Who has time for that? I mean, if you like them tiny, then by all means, especially if you have tiny mouths in your house. Some of them are falling apart a little bit, no big deal. You just put them together. It's a little more, like I said, it's not like regular cookie dough, okay? Press it in there. There we go. Now, if you want, you can add some more chocolate chips to this. Who here loves chocolate? If you love chocolate, put chocolate in the chat. If you love chocolate, put chocolate in the chat. Chocolate is where it's at for my life. I love chocolate, and I have chocolate almost every single day. And yes, I'm using regular chocolate chips, but they're the dark chocolate, less sugar, right? Less sugar, and that's what you want. I'm going to teach you in a little bit how to make chocolate with coconut oil and cocoa powder as well. Now, we can put some extra chocolate chips on the top if we feel like it needs it. And you know what? There's a lot of chocolate chips in here already. I don't think it needs any extras. So now we're going to put this in the oven for, I don't think it needs extras. Oh, I got a lot of chocolate responders over there. A lot of chocolate people. I even got an emoji of some sort. I don't even know what it is. I can't see it, but that's okay. Now, I'll make the rest of the cookies later. I'll make the rest of them later, but you don't want to overcrowd your cookies. Leave them room so that the air can go in between and they can also flatten out a little bit. All right, you ready? We're going to bake them for 11 to 14 minutes. It all depends on your oven. We're going to check them in 10 and 11 minutes. Okay, Caitlin, you got that? 11-minute timer, please. Cookies are in the oven. I got to wash my hands. Hold on. Was it Rebecca that has the autistic child? Do you cook or do you use almond flour, coconut flour in your baking? Just wanted to know. I was just curious about that. Okay, so next we're going to make some truffles. We're going to make some truffles next. And let me see, get the recipe out here. And yeah, you do. You also, yeah, coconut sugar. Try the monk fruit. Because it's a little lower in the glycemic index. So we're going to make some chocolate pumpkin truffles. I'm going to use about 2.5 cups. These are going to make a lot. I'm wondering if I can freeze them. It's fine. You can always half a recipe, by the way. You don't always have to go by a full recipe. Like, oh, the recipe says you need to do this. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can half a recipe. I'm just going to make the whole thing because these are yummy. I'm going to freeze them. And when I'm Italian, anytime somebody comes to my house, they always leave with food. Always leave with food. Don't ever come to my house and not expect to have food. That's the way it was with my grandma. That's the way it is with me. You always have food when you come to my house. Okay, so we've got 2.25 cups of some almond flour. And oh, you know what I should do? I need to melt some more chocolate chips. So let me do that right now while I'm putting the insides together. Let's do that right now. Hold on a second. Hey, where are those chocolate chips? Okay. You can do this in a microwave, but I'm so adept at doing this in the microwave. Every 30 seconds, you have to take it out, stir it. Every 30, why use the microwave? I have a double boiler, right? It's just water in the bottom of that pot, and the top of the pot, you throw in your chocolate, okay? Now, if you didn't want to use chocolate chips and you want to use a little bit of a cleaner chocolate, it's 3 tablespoons of coconut oil to 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder, 3 to 1, okay? Cocoa powder. Where's my cocoa powder? Here it is. So that's the formula, okay? Otherwise, I'm just gonna melt these chocolate chips in my double boiler over here. I have no clue why that didn't want to light. I think my lungs are full of gas now. All right. Here we go. We're going to do 1 cup of pumpkin puree. Now, do not buy pumpkin pie filling. We don't know what ingredients are really in there. I want you to buy some organic pumpkin puree, okay? And put that right in there. The rest of the pumpkin that I think I'm using this in another recipe, but don't ever store in the can. Don't ever store it in the can. And the other thing I want to bring to your attention, because it's Cancer Awareness Month, that my can actually says BPA free. BPA is a plastic that they line the inside of the cans with, and that BPA is a known cause of cancer. So be careful. Be careful. Make sure your cans, if you're going to use cans, BPA free. Got that? Okay. So there's our pumpkin. We're going to do 6 tablespoons of some yummy, delicious, amazing maple syrup. Now, maple syrup has a higher glycemic index, higher sugar value than I'm looking for, what did I say? 6 tablespoons. Yeah, a 1/4 cup is 4 tablespoons. So we'll do a 1/4 cup. And then we'll do half of this. But yeah, my sister's going to be horrified if she ever catches wind that I'm doing this. I'm looking for my tablespoon measure that I know I have out here somewhere. Oh, I know where it is. It's in the sink. That's what happened to it. Here it is. So we got a 1/4 cup, and I've got my tablespoon, another tablespoon measure. I need to invest in like 10 sets of everything for all of these recipes. So I have it on each tray. Okay. There we have it, our delicious maple syrup. Now, if you need low sugar and don't want to do maple syrup, what I would do for this recipe is do the confectioner's sugar monk fruit and put a little bit of maple extract in here. Now, what we'll be missing is a little bit of the consistency, the liquid, so you might have to add just a little bit of water. You'll have to play around with the recipe. The other thing that you could do, oh, let me show you this. Let me show you this. Hold on a second. Let me show it to you. I didn't take this out. You could use honey, but the honey is still high in sugar, or you can use something called Yakon syrup. It's 1/3 of the sugar of honey and maple syrup. Yakon syrup, okay? 1 teaspoon of some cinnamon. Where's my cinnamon? That's cloves. Here's my cinnamon. And you know, if you really love cinnamon, then put extra. If you don't want too much cinnamon, then don't. You could just use 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice, right? You could just use a whole bunch of pumpkin pie spice if you want. I actually did a lot of cinnamon and a whole big teaspoon of my pumpkin pie spice that has cinnamon in it. It's all good. We got the cinnamon. We need some vanilla extract. Do a little bit of vanilla extract, some really good vanilla extract, right? And what am I missing? You know what's not on here is a pinch of salt. So I am going to put a little pinch of salt in there, and that's it. Let's get rid of that. Put that over there. And let's mix it up. This is going to be thick. It's going to be ooey and gooey. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I am remiss. I need to put some coconut oil in with the chocolate chips. It helps them melt a little bit better. I know what the problem is. I had a cooking class yesterday and a lot of these things are in the dishwasher. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon of some coconut oil. It just helps them melt, helps them a little bit. You don't need this with the chocolate chips, but it helps a little bit. Okay. I love these silicone spatulas because I can just leave that in the double boiler and it's not going to burn my hands when I go to stir and such. You know what would be easier for me? It would be easier if I used a wooden spoon. So I'm going to go to my wooden spoon over here. Now, with this, we can do one of two ways. We can make round balls out of them and make truffles, or we can just put this whole filling at the bottom of a casserole pan, a little small casserole pan, okay? So you can make balls, or you can just put the whole filling at the bottom and then pour the chocolate on the top and then make slices. So which way do you want me to do it today? I'm leaving it in your hands. Do you want me to make balls and then I have to freeze them, or freeze them for 10 minutes? Or do you want me to make it in the little pan? Look at that. How am I supposed to get this part? There we go. We making balls? Or yes, I do. We making balls, we making pans. Oh, I have, all right, let's see how many pans and how many balls I got here. How many people want me to make a pan and how many people want me to make balls? Because I'm going to tell you, you can do the balls no problem, okay? If you are lazy and you want things to be fast, this is a little bit of an easier way of doing it, and maybe a little more fun too. All right, so if you're going to make the balls, you're going to get your cookie scoop. I would get the larger cookie scoop, which mine is dirty now with cookies, which is not a big deal because it's all the same stuff. Or we're just going to put it all at the bottom of the pan. Looks like pan 1 out. All right, how many people are here? We've got 22 people here and only like 5 people answered me, but that's okay. The pan 1 out. So we're going to do, you see how loose this is? And yes, you can make the balls and then you would refrigerate them for 30 minutes or freeze them for 10 minutes, okay? And I'm going to freeze this whole thing for 10 minutes as we're doing everything else, okay? You guys having a good time? You guys having a good time? Put fun in the chat if you are having fun with me. If you're having fun, put fun in the chat if you are having fun with me. I'm going to assume the rest of you people who didn't answer balls or pan, that you just were indifferent. You could care less which way I did it. I'm just going to assume. Good, good. A lot of you are having a lot of fun. Awesome. That's what we want. Life is about joy. It's about fun. And so far, anything that you might want to bake, so far, anything that you might want to make yourself, anything? Look how easy this is. Look how easy. I'm telling you, it's not that I'm super lazy. It's just like, you know, I want to get things done. I'd rather go outside and walk the dogs or go for a bike ride. And I still want good food when I come home. So let's take some shortcuts. Let's take some shortcuts. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be beautiful. Oh, I got a little celebratory little emoji there. In the freezer we go. Okay, we'll check that. How are we doing on time for those cookies, Caitlin?
You have 15 more seconds. So you can just check them while you're over there.
I'm going to wait. Should I wait the 15 seconds or should I just keep going here? All right. All right, let's check the cookies. Let's check the cookies. They might need 14 minutes. I have a sneaking suspicion that they are going to want a little bit more, but let's check them anyway. They're really wet, so I'm going to give them another 3 minutes. So go ahead, 3-minute timer, please, my dear. Thank you very much. All right, how are we doing on time? Yes, fantastic on time. All right, so let's give that another 3 minutes. We'll check those and remind me about this chocolate. It's almost done. It's almost completely melted, almost. I'll check that in 3 minutes too. Okay, timer starts now. I know you probably started it a whole minute ago, and here we go. Next, you're ready? These are so fun. I cannot wait to do these. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. This is going to be so much fun. Mandarin oranges. You're going to get yourself a whole bunch of Mandarin oranges, okay? And you're going to either take a Sharpie and make some fun faces, okay? Or you're going to take your knife and you're going to carve out some fun faces here. Now, when you're carving, don't cut into the flesh. You're just taking that eyeball out, okay? Taking that eyeball out. And be careful. Do not slice yourself, okay? Don't let kids do this. Give the kids the Sharpie, okay? Give the kids the Sharpie. And I'm only going to do one of them like this because I do not want to cut myself, number one. Not that I will, but you know. But there we go. And then we're going to slice the top off. I'm going to slice the top off of all of them. And we're going to dig out the juice inside. I'll show you that in just a second. Slice off the top. If you're doing the Sharpie method, draw the faces maybe a little later because you're going to be handling them and then you'll mess up the little faces, okay? You'll mess up the faces and we can't have messed up faces. The children and the adults, because this is definitely an adult-like food, will be mad. Because we want cute little faces, right? And now what I want you to do is take a spoon. Thought I had a spoon somewhere, but that's okay. And we're going to scoop out the flesh. Not all of it. Not all of it. Be very gentle as you're doing this. Be very gentle. And yes, I do want a spoon to spoon it out. Save the inside of these mandarins. Save the, oh, I broke that one. Darn it. Save that. Throw it into salads. Throw it into a smoothie. Don't throw that away. I'm not going to cut this one all the way through. These are really fun for children. They're really fun even for an adult party to make these, okay? So scoop out that flesh. Leave some in there. Leave some in there. Don't take it all out, okay? You don't have to take it all out. And you see why you don't want to draw the face right now? Because the juice is all over my hand. The juice is all over the outside. And if you put the Sharpie, you would A, erase the face, B, get Sharpie stuff all inside your juice. You don't want that. You don't want Sharpie stuff all inside your juice. Wait till you see how adorable these are, though.
FYI, your timer's going off as well.
Oh, really? Darn it, I'm not done over here. That's okay, though. That's okay. Do the best you can here. Nothing doesn't have to be perfect. Life is not perfect. I know, I need to go check it over there. I'll get it in a minute. Good, there we go. I can do it just with the spoon. Nope, it wants the knife. All right, I'll go check the cookies, I promise. I promise. Maybe I should have done a bunch of these ahead of time, but that's okay. This will be the last one for now, okay? Okay, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just scoop them out. Actually, I lied. I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do one more with that paring knife. Go all the way around. Ah, I got better as I went along. Don't you think this will be a fun idea? Wait till you see them done. Wait till you see them done. Fun idea for parties, for kids, for adults. Who thinks this is good for kids or for adults? More so. Who's going to enjoy these more? The kids or the adults? The kids or the adults? Who do you think is going to enjoy these more? The kids or the adults? You think the kids are going to enjoy these more? All right, the adults, you got to enjoy these things too. Okay, now let's go to check the cookies. Yep, they're a little golden now. They're very, very hot, but I just want to show you, this is how I know that they're done because they're a little more golden on the outside. Don't think of eating them yet. You will burn your mouth and your hands. Let them set for a good 10 minutes before you even think about taking them off of this, the cookie tray. And if you have a cookie cooler, a little cookie rack, you want to put it on the cookie rack for another 10 minutes, okay? Let them cool completely before you put them away. Let's put these over here for now. And let's check on our chocolate. Our chocolate is completely melted, but we're not ready to put it on top of the thing yet, the truffle mix. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get some of my chocolate and I'm going to put it in the holes that I cut out of my little Mandarin guy here. Look what a mess I made. Because I was trying to do it fast. So maybe this isn't the best way to do it. Or, oh, look at this. Look at this. You just wipe it off with your fingers. Maybe if I just did it with my fingers versus the spoon, it might have been easier to begin with. Now I've got chocolate. There we go. There we go. I got chocolate on the inside of my little cutouts. So it is cute. It's really cute with the chocolate inside. I'm sure it's going to be cute with the markers, but I'm lazy and that's a pain to do. But you have the time and the patience, do them all like that because it is really, really, really cute. Now we need to make this the innards for this, right? Let's make the innards. Let me get some water. Cheers, everyone, get some water. Get some water if you haven't had some water in a little bit, okay? Let's make the inside of this. You want the innards of one Mandarin orange, which I've already put into my blender. I'm going to put a quarter cup of almond flour in there, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. You can get the Hershey's cocoa powder perfectly fine. I particularly like this Shiloh Farms cocoa powder. And this is what I would make chocolate from. Remember, it's just 3 parts coconut oil to 1 part of cocoa powder with a little bit of sea salt. Double boil it and put it in parchment paper and put it in the freezer, and you have freezer chocolate. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's just an easy way of doing that. 1/3 cup of pumpkin puree. And I know that I already have a can open, and I need 1/3 cup of pumpkin puree. Here it is. There's probably already 1/3 cup in here. Yep, look at that. How perfect is that? That was what was left in my can. About 1/3 cup. Okay, a little bit more, but who cares? Throwing it in there, 1/3 cup of pumpkin puree. What else do we need? And 1.5 frozen bananas. I've had my bananas sitting out for a little bit. That one's a little melty. There we go. When bananas are about to get really yucky, peel them and freeze them in baggies and use them for things like this and for smoothies and all of that other fun stuff. That's ripping. So I'm putting them in there for now. Okay. What else? We're going to mix this up. You can do this in any blender. You don't need a Vitamix like I have, okay? Make sure that I got everything here. Oh, big old chunk on the side there. Love these little silicone things. Love them, love them, love them. All right, one more mix here. Okay. How to taste it. Got to do it. What I've got here is just a regular Ziploc baggie bag, right? I'm gonna pour it all into my Ziploc bag, and then I'm gonna show you my little trick so I can pipe it in. Hold on. Ugh. All right, I'll get the rest of it later. I'm not worried about it right now. Ziploc that baggy bag. And I'm going to use my handy dandy scissors, and I'm going to cut a corner over here. If you have a pastry bag, by all means, use a pastry bag. I don't have a pastry bag. I don't make these things that often. This is good enough. This is easy enough. Okay, here we go. I'm going to press it all down to the other corner where I made the hole. Should have put it on this corner, but that's okay. And there we go. We're going to pipe in our filling into our beautiful little hollowed out Mandarin cups. I'll do one more. Oh, that one got a lot of filling, didn't it? Okay, so here we are. I'll finish that up later. And maybe that has a little bit too much. So we'll take some out and put some over here. Okay. Now for the topping here, what I did, it's in the fridge. Let me get it. I melted chocolate like I did over here. And then I got some cocoa nibs. Cocoa nibs are actually what chocolate is made out of, made from. It's the outer shell that they toast. These are what cocoa nibs look like. And they are pure chocolate. This is, if you like chocolate, you will love these. If you like milk chocolate, you might not. Okay. I also got some, I don't think milk chocolate's real chocolate because it's got too much sugar in it. And I just can't handle sugar, and that's the problem. And these are goji berries. Okay. These are goji berries. They're very high in antioxidants, very, very, very good for you and delicious. And what I did is I coated them with chocolate, and then I put them out on some parchment paper. So at the top of your little Mandarin cups, you can put some shredded coconut. You can put these chocolate covered, it's kind of an oxymoron, isn't it? It's a chocolate and a chocolate together. Chocolate covered cocoa nibs, chocolate covered goji berries. You can even do raisins, whatever you want. Put those up at the top. And then you can get some paper straws, cut your paper straws, or you can just add a little demi-tasse spoon to each of those. And there we have it. Oh, I didn't put the little faces on everybody else, did I? We have to put some scary little faces on everybody, but I'm not going to take the time today to do that so that we can go on to our next recipe. So there we have it, our little Mandarin chocolate filled cups with tangerine flavor. Mandarin tangerines is all the same. You can even do this with oranges. All right, who loves these? Who's going to make these little cups? Put cups in the chat if you think that you're going to make these and have some fun with it, because it's delicious, it's healthy, and the kids are going to love it. I think the adults will love it too. I will make these for the adults. I'll even, when I'm done, I'll freeze those and in a Tupperware container, and I'll serve them to people later on. It doesn't have to be fresh. MSNBC, I don't get that. What's that for? MSNBC. You got me curious there. Hey, so now we've got that. This is how easy this is. That's not completely frozen, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to put our melted chocolate chips on the top. Or again, if you want to make your own chocolate with the coconut oil and cocoa powder and a little bit of sea salt, perfectly fine. There we go. And we're not done. We still have chocolate covered apples to make, which those are going to be fun as well. Now, these will not be done for me to show you a finished product, but you kind of get the idea. Put this back in the freezer for a couple of hours, maybe even an hour is fine. Take it out, cut it up into little pieces, put it in little containers, store it in the refrigerator or the freezer. Okay, definitely refrigerator or freezer. Otherwise, you're going to get chocolate all over the place. And not only that, yeah, just you have egg in there. I know there's no egg in this one. These will be okay on the counter, but better in the refrigerator or freezer. Okay, so actually, I'll put it in the freezer in a little bit. Let's keep these out for now so I can show them to you in a few more minutes. Okay, ready? Next, we're gonna, oh my goodness gracious, I used all of the chocolate, and we need more chocolate for our apples. Told you, it's a chocolate themed day. It's a chocolate themed day. So I'm going to melt more chocolate with a little bit more coconut oil, right? Chocolate with coconut oil over the double burner. And there we go. My hopes are that this is going to melt super quick because I used up all of the chocolate and I don't think I was supposed to. I was supposed to save some of that chocolate for the apples, but, or melt it all earlier. Doesn't matter. Life is messy. Wash your hands. I got to have a t-shirt. Life is messy. Wash your hands. Caitlin, write that down. I got to make a t-shirt out of all of that. Out of that saying of mine. Life is messy. Wash your hands. Life is messy. Wash your hands. Okay. So what do we have last? Oops. We have more chocolate on our arms is what we have. We're going to make chocolate covered apples. You know those candied apples, they're dipped in caramel, they're dipped in chocolate, and then you go to eat it and it's all over your face. The apple doesn't taste good because it's probably been sitting there for, you don't know how long. So instead of dipping the whole apple in chocolate, what I want you to do is make some apple slices. We're going to make some apple slices. Okay, so here we go. We've got our apples. Now, the directions on the recipe say soak the apples in a little lemon and water. And you can do that if you're making a whole bunch and you don't want the apples to go brown while you're making stuff, okay? While you're preparing things, you can do that. And if you're serving these right away, you can skip that step if you want to, okay? So what I'm doing now, I got popsicle sticks. This just makes it easy. And let me tell you, this is fun for kids and it's fun for adults. I do these and I put them in my freezer and I bring them to parties. And the adults, I think, go a little bit more crazy over this than the kids, okay? The adults go a little bit more nutso than the children. Here we go, popsicle sticks. Yes, I have a strawberry. The strawberry, yes, has its own little handle, but I'm still going to put a little popsicle stick in the top of that beautiful strawberry. Get some organic strawberries, don't chintz on that. Strawberries are a beautiful fruit and they're small, so the pesticides, you get more pesticides when you eat them. Okay, if you're doing conventional. The flavor is much better when in the organic ones too. Okay, here we go. We got a couple of strawberries. We got a couple of apples. Oh, you could also, I should show you how to make apple teeth with little marshmallows. Adorable, absolutely adorable. So we've got that. Now I want some nuts to dip them in. We're going to dip them in chocolate and then we're going to dip them in nuts. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. They still need to melt just a little bit more and they should be done by the time we're done chopping our nuts. What kind of nuts do you like? Do you want pecans? Do you want walnuts? Doesn't matter. Whatever you have, whatever you want to chop, I want you to chop, okay? I don't have a lot of gadgets, but some of them I really, really, really love, and they come in handy. Who has a chopper, a Pampered Chef chopper? I think this was one of the first pieces that I purchased from Pampered Chef many, 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 many years ago. Love it. Look at that. Love it, love it, love it. So we're going to put our nuts into a little container. And this way, now we're going to dip the apples in chocolate. We're going to dip them in a little bit of nuts or coconut, shredded coconut. You can do shredded coconut as well. And then you're going to put them onto a tray. I know I made a mess in my kitchen today. It's all good. It's a good mess. It's a fun, healthy mess. You guys having a good time? Oh, did you put the wrong thing in the chat, the MSNBC? I'm like, huh? It's all good. It's all good. If you guys having a good time, put fun in the chat. Put fun in the chat if you're having a good time. Now, we're almost to the end of our time together. We're almost to the end of our time together. And don't worry, we're going to get this done. All right, we're going to get this done. Caitlin is going to put a free gift for you in the chat box. It is a It's called The Joyful Gut Reboot Guide. It is my book that I wrote for you to help you live a life that's healthy, vibrant, and free. It's all the basics of how to have a healthy gut. And you can also join me on Facebook, and you also join me on YouTube. You can find me on Tina's Joyful Kitchen on YouTube. So my chocolate all melted. And now we are simply going to dip our apple in the chocolate all the way around, dip our apple in a little bit of nuts, and put it on the tray. You want to do a strawberry? Dip your strawberry. Let me get rid of this. Dip your strawberry in the nuts, dip your in the chocolate, dip them in the nuts, and put them on your tray. Look how fun this is. Look how fun this is. I'll show you the apple teeth too, because the apple teeth is super fun too. You get these little mini marshmallows. And you can put them on the top and then put another apple slice on top. I just realized I poked them all with sticks, so I'm not going to really be able to show them to you, but the little mini marshmallows are adorable. All right, I'm going to finish doing all of this, and I want to know, first of all, I want to say thank you. You've been a phenomenal audience. Thank you for all your participation here today. But I'd love to know, what have you found most valuable about our time together today? What is that one thing you're going to go, oh yeah, I'm going to make that, or I'm going to implement that. Oh, I didn't know about that, about gluten. I get that. Yeah, so tell me, what is that one thing or two things or five things that you found most valuable about our time together here today? And it could be just that you've had fun. That's good too, or you never thought about dipping apple pieces in chocolate and melted chocolate chips. How easy is that? Yeah, so tell me, what is that one thing or two things that you found most valuable about our time today, our time together today? I would love to know. Thank you. It's been so much fun. You like the treats that are made with healthy ingredients. Yeah. Ingredient alternatives, double boiler. Yeah, really easy. Trying the different flour and sugar alternatives. Yakon syrup. Yeah, that's a really good one. Sea salt, sugar alternatives. So there we have it. We have our chocolate dipped apples. And what else do we have? Our non-truffles, our non-truffle truffles. I'll tell you, it's so much easier to do it this way. And what else do we have? Oh, our cookies. Let me see if I can get a cookie off of the sheet real quick to show it to you. There we have it. We have our pumpkin delight cookies. Oh my gosh, cannot wait to eat the pumpkin delight cookies. And what else do we have? Mandarins. Our Mandarin Cups. How cute are these Mandarin Cups? Of course, I only decorated one of them, but delicious, absolutely delicious and fun. Can you imagine serving this for dessert? They're like, really? Those are adorable. Because they are adorable. They're adorable. All right, cutting apples before putting caramel or chocolate. Yeah, monk fruit sugar alternative. Fantastic. You all have taken something or more than something away today, and that is amazing. That is phenomenal and terrific. I absolutely love it. I want to say thank you from my entire spooky heart. Thank you for being here today. And until next time, namaste. Bye for now. Have a happy Halloween. I hope you all make these fun treats. I really do. Thank you. Have a great day.